this suck? Hi, I'm Sanjana.
Hi, I'm Amer.
And I am one of the co-founders of Mous Films. Mous Films is a media production company that aims to push forward creators of color and tell very, very innovative and interesting stories. Mous Films was sort of a COVID invention. I was, alone at BU in a media business class and thought about what makes me me. And the first thing I thought of was what my dad used to call me and still does is Mouse, M-O-U-S, weirdly. No idea why. I always figured it was because I was a very chaotic kid and I used to just run around a lot and I was the youngest sibling, so it was a tiny, tiny presence. When the business class asked me create a business about yourself, I thought, why not make Mous Films? I was fed up with the representation, particularly the South Asian representation on screen that I had seen growing up. And I just felt like there needed to be a change, even at a very small college level. And yeah, that's where Mous Films originated. And I am so grateful for everybody who has ever been part of this, because now we're like a little team and it's very exciting.
I became friends with Sanjana Kumar. She told me about how her sort of goal was to really push forward stories or stories about diverse experiences, and that really resonated with me because coming from the northeast of India, or just coming from India itself, I feel like there's just this misconception, about India being a more homogenic place, a country. So I feel like I have had a very unique experience, and I'm sure people from India, from each part of India, I feel like they've all gone through different experiences. And I feel like hearing Sanjana say that, that's sort of the motive or inspiration behind starting Mous Films. I just felt that is what I wanted to do. I felt like it was fate, and I just really felt I don't know, there was this I would say intuition, but there's also this feeling, a sense of belonging.
I moved around a lot. My dad did his MBA in 2005 to 2006, and our family moved to Japan, Tokyo, and I did kindergarten there. It was great. And I also moved to Bangkok when I was in middle school. And I feel like that was a place where I got introduced to a lot of, TV. I connected to those a lot, and I think those kind of later in life influenced me to get into this kind of work. In Japan, it was funny because my mom, she took 3 DVDs with us. There was one Shark Tale DVD, one this Hanuman animated religious movie, really small movie. And then this two old Bollywood films. One was Sholay and one was Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. And those were just staple. We used to go through those 5 times a week, and it was just great. And after that, my mother made me embarrassedly reiterate or re-perform Shark Tale in front of guests. My uncle used to tell us stories about Sherlock Holmes, Rumpelstiltskin, all these scary horror stuff. We watched Friday the 13th movies, all the Insidious movies. So that's where the horror gene stemmed from in Mous Film. And yeah, so it was really, really media full.
I have always loved films and visual media from a very young age. I remember seeing The Exorcist at the age of 9 or 10. I remember my father showed me the film basically, and then on it was just I watched musicals, different genres of films, and that sort of interest also extended to music and theater.
To come from India to me is being very different than the other Indian. I don't believe that two Indians in any room are the same. The West has sort of that assumption about us all being the same, the common North Indian model. But to me, being South Asian means being diverse and means being a part of like a rainbow, a part of like every spectrum of the rainbow, if that makes sense. So that's what I want to emphasize in my career in general, and even through Mous Films, is that even if we look alike, we are not the same. We are very different, and those differences are what makes connection between us special.
I would say a huge part of my I would say like childhood, or the memory that I have specifically, is like you know, really getting along or connecting with my friends on like movies, or like, you know, like Disney series. I remember like Disney was like so big, being so connected to the characters on screen. I feel like there was, I don't know, almost like an invisible thread, and I feel like that is sort of the power of media. As a child, that was like what made me really almost like alive. I think it's the paradox, because I feel like I really didn't see myself on screen, because most of them were, you know, didn't look like me, or, you know, didn't, or not only, wasn't only like a physical thing, but it was also like, I feel like socially they were just different. I really don't see anybody who looked like me on screen. I didn't feel seen enough, I think, on screen, and that is also what motivated me to you know, working towards that as a filmmaker myself.
This old Bollywood actor came to my school in 10th grade. Before that, I wanted to be in business. He was sort of talking about why he became an actor, because he became an actor at a very like sort of middle age, where the norm is to like, you know, begin your struggle as an actor earlier on. And he honestly just said like, I didn't know anything else. Like, I didn't know what to do other than this. And a lot of people told me not to do this. And I was like, but I don't know anything else. And I think I should just harbor that.
Personally, I want to grow as an artist. I want to put out art that resonates with people, but also it's something that I'm proud of. I guess I want to be successful, but I want to do it in my own terms, without just conforming.
I know one thing is that I want to try everything, but I know I have favorites. I love me some comedy, and I love horror. I have been, from mentors, from colleagues, from peers, from co-founders, I've been pushed to write about personal issues and personal things to me, and that has been sort of like the vulnerable, dramatic end, but I always want to cushion it with something comedic, because it's always easier to digest when it's comedic. I want to be the kind of filmmaker that has sort of like that subtextual vulnerability even throughout different genres, like whether it be horror, comedy, thriller, documentaries. Like there should be that sense of like, I am opening my heart, kind of like Hanuman does in the animated film I was talking about, to you, and you can see everything in it, but it's still like it's still an afterthought, and not like sort of like the only thing you see.
I see a lot of potential in Mous Films, you know, similar to Tyler Perry's studio, or even OWN Network by Oprah. I feel like, or Shondaland. I feel like it can be a huge platform, or like a facility for creators of color to express themselves and just reach to different people from different parts of the world, and to really put out, I would say, like stories that break boundaries, or things that are, for lack of a better term, like risky, or that are like challenging, you know, the challenges, or that reflects the society for like what it is.
For me, if Mous Films, in the whatever amount of time, you know, in a year or two, or year and a half, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, as long as we have a team and we are collaborating and we're interacting and we are producing amazing content, like amazing is a stupid word, but what I mean by amazing is extraordinarily subtextual and personal content that is defined by who we are as people and as filmmakers. As long as we are creating that in any sort of medium, then we'll be fine. Coming soon, 2 films. yeah, two films and maybe other stuff.